What happens when politics gets so personal, you'd rather watch someone suffer than save their life? That's exactly the firestorm Joy Behar lit on The View, and the internet is not staying silent. Today, we break down what she said, why it's dividing America, and what it really means when daytime TV becomes political battlegrounds. Stay with us, because this one's going to be heated. And before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss these deep dives into viral celebrity moments and political drama. It happened on a regular weekday episode of The View, the kind of show that usually blends current events with playful banter. The table was full. Joy Behar was there, surrounded by her usual SEO hosts, ready to dive into a conversation that, like so many on that stage, took a turn no one really saw coming. The topic? Political division in America. And not just in the big picture, this was about friendships, about whether people with deeply opposing political beliefs can still stay close. It was a conversation millions of Americans have had in their own homes, especially since the rise of Donald Trump. As the panel shared their thoughts, Joy leaned into her mic and said something that sparked a fire across social media. In a sharp but sarcastic tone, she said, "I can be polite to a Trump supporter. I might even wave to one, but I will not give them a kidney." The audience let out a quick mix of gasps and laughs. You could feel the temperature in the room shift. Some of the other hosts chuckled, probably unsure how serious she was. A few exchanged looks. Was she kidding? Was that a joke? Or was she dead serious? At first, it seemed like one of Joy's typical zingers. She has always used humor to make a point, especially when it comes to politics. But this time, the line was different. It sounded personal, emotional, almost like a real boundary she has drawn in her life. The studio crowd, usually loud and quick to cheer or clap, stayed mostly quiet after the first laugh faded. A few oohs rippled through, but then came a kind of silence that only happens when a room is trying to figure out how to feel. The CEO hosts tried to recover the moment, pushing the conversation forward. But that quote, that one line, "I will not give them a kidney," hung in the air. It was bold, it was cutting, and it was about to go viral. Within minutes, clips from the segment were posted online. People were already arguing over what she meant, whether she was joking, and whether the comment went too far. On the surface, it was just one line on daytime TV, but underneath, it touched something deeper, something raw, something people on both sides of the political divide felt in their gut. And that is how a few seconds of candid talk turned into a national flashpoint. Once the episode aired, the internet lit up. Within minutes, Joy Behar's kidney comment was clipped, posted, and reposted across every major social media platform. On Twitter, now called X, the video started trending by the hour. People were tagging it with hashtags like #JoyBeharCancelled, #TheViewControversy, and even #NoKidneyForYou. It was everywhere. Some users were laughing, some were furious, and some were genuinely confused. Instagram followed fast. Short reels of the clip, especially the moment Joy delivered the line, were shared on political meme pages, gossip accounts, and even mainstream news outlets. Comment sections turned into battlefields. One post had someone writing, "She finally said what a lot of us feel," while the next person replied, "You would really let someone die over politics?" That was the tone everywhere. Emotional, divided, loud. Over on Reddit, things got even deeper. On subreddits like r or political humor and r or conservative, long threads popped up. Some were breaking down the ethics of her statement. Others were asking what would happen if the roles were reversed. People were debating morality, politics, and whether organ donation should ever be tied to belief systems. It was not just outrage for the sake of it. People were taking this seriously. Some called it satire. Others said it was hate disguised as humor. Conservative voices wasted no time. Several well-known commentators posted reaction videos slamming Joy's comments. Some said it proved that liberal elites see Trump supporters as less than human. One popular host even said, "This is the problem with Hollywood liberals. They preach tolerance but practice exclusion." These clips gained millions of views, especially among right-wing audiences who already felt that shows like The View were biased against them. On the other side, reactions were more mixed. Some liberal voices defended Joy, calling it just a joke and saying people needed to lighten up. Others felt uneasy. They said the line was not funny, that it made the political divide even worse, and that compassion should not have political boundaries. A few progressive commentators called it a bad look and suggested Joy had crossed a line this time. Even some longtime fans of the show admitted they winced a little when they heard it. Whether people agreed or disagreed, one thing was clear. Joy's words had struck a nerve. The internet was not just reacting, it was erupting. People were not only arguing over what she said, but what it meant for how divided America has become. If you are enjoying this breakdown and love unpacking viral moments like this, do us a favor. Click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support helps us keep the conversation going. There is a lot more to get into, and we are just getting started. Joy Behar has never been shy when it comes to politics. For years, she has used humor to make a point, especially when talking about Trump or his supporters. If you have watched The View regularly, you know this is not new. Joy throws sharp one-liners all the time. That is part of her style. But this time, her line about not giving a kidney to a Trump supporter did not land the same way. So now people are asking, was she joking? Or was there something more serious behind it? That is where things get complicated. The way she delivered it had a touch of sarcasm, but it also sounded personal. It did not feel like just a punchline. It felt like a boundary. That is what made the audience pause. It was not just funny. It was loaded. Some say it was classic hyperbole, a dramatic exaggeration to make a point about how divided things have become. Others say it sounded like real emotion, like she meant every word. And if that is the case, it brings up questions about how far political opinions should go when it comes to basic human compassion. Daytime TV is a strange place for this kind of talk. Shows like The View mix politics with pop culture, serious talk with casual conversation. That makes it tricky. People tune in for commentary, but also for comfort. They expect opinions, but they also expect some level of balance. Satire has its place, but when the joke sounds too close to the truth, people stop laughing. This moment forced viewers to decide where the line is. Is it just a talk show moment or a statement about how divided we are as a country? Was it funny because it was shocking or shocking because it felt true? Joy's delivery left that open. She never walked it back and she never really explained it. That silence made it even bigger. In the end, people heard the same words but took away very different meanings. Some saw a joke, some saw a statement, and some saw a warning about how far political hate can go. Wherever you land, the fact that one sentence caused this much conversation shows just how fragile things really are. When a kidney joke can split the internet, you know it is not really about the joke. It is about the tension just under the surface. Joy Behar has built her career on being outspoken. From the early days of The View, she has made it clear where she stands politically. She has never hidden her dislike for Donald Trump or the broader MAGA movement. In fact, over the years, her name has become almost synonymous with loud liberal commentary on daytime TV. That has won her a lot of fans, but it has also sparked plenty of backlash. This is not the first time Joy has stirred controversy with a bold statement. Back in 2018, she got into hot water for making comments about then Vice President Mike Pence's faith, suggesting that hearing from God might be a sign of mental illness. That remark drew criticism from both conservatives and religious viewers, and she later issued an apology. Even so, many saw it as part of a larger pattern. She has taken shots at Republican figures, Supreme Court justices, and even her own SEO hosts, when their views did not line up with hers. Over the years, these moments have come to define her voice on the show. Joy does not just react. She takes a position, often the far end of the liberal spectrum, and she defends it with sarcasm, fire, and sometimes shock value. That is why this recent kidney comment, while surprising to some, feels completely in line with how Joy has always operated. She pushes buttons. She uses humor to draw clear lines between what she supports and what she rejects. And when it comes to politics, she has always leaned into her identity as a strong progressive voice, even when it costs her. So yes, this moment is consistent with her brand. It fits the pattern. But the reaction this time was stronger, maybe because people are more sensitive now, or maybe because it touched something more personal. Either way, Joy Behar has been here before, and whether you love her or hate her, she does not seem interested. in changing that anytime soon. This one comment from Joy Behar opened the door to a bigger question. Can politics really end a friendship? And if it can, where is the line? Because the truth is, a lot of Americans are already living this reality. They are not just arguing online. They are dealing with tension at dinner tables, family gatherings, group chats, and weddings. Politics has crept into places it never used to go. According to a recent Pew Research study, more than 60% of Americans say they have lost a friendship or distanced themselves from someone over political differences. That number is not just high, it is personal, and it is growing. Some families are split right down the middle. Some siblings no longer speak. Some parents barely see their kids. The division is not just on cable news. It is in people's homes. Even celebrities are not immune. We have seen public fallouts between stars who were once close, all because of who they voted for. In some cases, one simple tweet was enough to end a friendship. Some actors have even said they avoid working with certain people because of their politics. That kind of tension has changed the way people interact. Politics is no longer just a topic. For some, it has become a deal breaker. After Joy's comment aired, a few online polls started circulating. One of them asked, "Would you donate a kidney to someone who supports the opposite political party?" The responses were split. Some said yes, without question. Others admitted they would have to think twice. And a surprising number said no, they would not. That is the kind of answer that hits hard, because it shows just how much anger and distrust people are holding inside. This kind of divide is more than a difference in opinion. It has an emotional cost. It can make people feel alone. It can turn love into resentment. It can make people choose between being true to their values and staying close to the people they care about. That kind of pressure adds up. What Joy said may have come off as a joke, but the reaction to it proved that the feelings behind it are very real for a lot of people. When people start wondering if their life is worth less because of who they vote for, it is no longer just about politics. It is about humanity. And that is a line no one really wants to cross. When someone like Joy Behar speaks on live television, it carries weight. She is not just another opinion online. She is a voice on one of the biggest daytime talk shows in the country. Millions of people watch The View every week, and many of them trust the women at that table to help make sense of the news, the culture, and the chaos. So the question is, should someone in that position be held to a higher standard? Daytime TV is not the same as late-night comedy. It is not just about laughs. It blends serious conversations with entertainment. That mix can be powerful, but it also brings responsibility. When a host says something bold or controversial, people pay attention. Some take it as fact. Others take it as permission. That is why moments like this hit harder. They echo beyond the show. There is also the matter of network accountability. ABC is the home of The View. It is a major platform. So when a moment like this goes viral, people want to know where the line is. Was this just Joy being Joy, or does the network share some of that responsibility? Should there be guidelines for how far hosts can go when talking about politics and personal values? Most networks have some kind of code of conduct, but in shows like this, the rules are often flexible. That makes it tricky. There is a balance between free speech and public trust, and when the audience includes everyone from stay-at-home parents to retirees to college students, that balance matters. Joy Behar is known for speaking her mind. That is what keeps the show lively. But when those words create this much noise, it forces everyone to ask, where does commentary end and influence begin? And once that influence takes hold, who makes sure it is being used wisely? When Joy Behar made the kidney comment, a lot of people asked the same question. Will she face real consequences? Or is she untouchable? Because in today's world, one controversial statement can end a career. But with Joy, things seem to work differently. Some of her SEO hosts came to her defense, brushing off the comment as just another joke. They have worked with her for years. They know her style. A few celebrities also chimed in, saying they understood where she was coming from. They said the outrage was blown out of proportion. They called it edgy humor, not hate. But not everyone agreed. This is not the first time Joy has been in hot water. Over the years, she has made comments about religion, politics, and people's personal lives that sparked backlash. She has apologized a few times, but the truth is, she has never really been cancelled. Not in the way we have seen others go down. That is where the conversation about double standards comes in. Some people believe cancel culture only works when it targets certain voices. They say someone on the right makes a bold statement and gets dropped instantly. But someone like Joy says something controversial and stays on air. That feeling of imbalance adds fuel to the fire. It makes people ask whether cancel culture is about accountability or just picking sides. But canceling someone is not always clear-cut. It depends on the moment, the audience, and how long the anger lasts. Some celebrities bounce back quickly, others vanish. The question is, will Joy's comment stick or will people move on? Right now, it feels like both are happening. Some fans are disappointed. Others are defending her more fiercely than ever. At the end of the day, Joy Behar has built a career on speaking her mind. That has always come with backlash. But so far, it has never knocked her off the stage. Maybe she really is untouchable. Or maybe the line between bold and reckless just keeps moving. Either way, this moment added one more layer to a long history of walking right up to the edge and daring people to push back. Outside of studios and social media feeds, real people are talking about Joy Behar's comment. In coffee shops, on sidewalks, and around dinner tables, the conversation has left the screen and moved into the real world. Some folks shrug it off, saying it is just another celebrity trying to get a rise out of people. Others are not so quick. To dismiss a tone man outside a grocery store said, "I do not agree with Trump, but I would still save a life." That line crossed into something cold. A woman waiting at a bus stop responded differently. She said, "Joy is just saying what a lot of people think. Not everything needs to be polite anymore." These voices reflect how split the public really is. Another woman in a crowded diner said she stopped watching The View years ago, but this clip still found its way to her phone. She said, "It feels like every time I try to tune out the noise, someone says something like this and drags me right back into the mess. People are tired, but they are still listening." The bigger question floating through these real-world reactions is whether this is just celebrity drama or something deeper. Is it just another moment that will pass, or is it a sign of how far the culture has shifted? When people start weighing friendship, kindness, and even organ donation against political lines, it tells you something about the mood of the country. These are not just headlines, they are signals. And right now, the signal feels divided. This moment with Joy Behar was more than just a clip from a daytime talk show. It opened up a conversation about where we are as a country. One line meant to be a joke or not touched on something much deeper. It brought up questions about how far we are willing to go with political division. It asked what happens when disagreement turns into distance and when distance turns into refusal to care. Some people saw it as a harmless joke. Others saw it as a cruel message hiding behind a laugh. And in between those two reactions is the real conversation. Can we still care for each other when we see the world differently? Can compassion survive the fight for our beliefs? Joy Behar has always used comedy to make her points, but this time the punchline had weight. It made people look at themselves and each other. And maybe that is what this moment really says about America today, that the lines between humor, politics, and personal values are getting harder to untangle, that the space for empathy is shrinking, and that the choice to care is starting to feel like a political decision. So now we ask you, would you give a kidney to someone who voted differently than you? Would you show up for a neighbor whose beliefs clash with yours? These questions matter more than ever. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. Let us know, what would you do?